very senior devotee from ISKCON Chopati, basically from Karnataka, Mysuru. ISKCON in 1980s, long, long ago. Services, Bhagavata courses. He started Chopati in the early days. He gave shelter to devotees, So he pioneered the devotee care uh, teaching initiatives because definitely our temple also through his guiding and uh, so we're very happy to have the association of Prabhuji. Let's welcome Prabhuji by once chanting the Hare Krishna mantra. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपीजन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी गोपीजन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदानन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जना वनचारी यमुना तीर वनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी 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 जय ओम विश्वपाद परमहंस परिवराजकाचार्य अश्रोत्र सदशिष्यवाद इज डिवाइन ग्रेस ऐसी भक्ति वेदांत गोस्वामी महाराज शिल प्रभुपाद की अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। नामाचार्य श्रील हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासदि गौर भक्त वृंद की। श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की जय। श्री वृंदावन धाम की जय। श्री नवद्वीप धाम की जय। श्री जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की जय। गंगा माई की जय। यमुना माई की जय। तुलसी देवी की जय। भक्ति देवी की। कलयुग पावन हरिनाम संकीर्तन की। श्री श्री राधा विनोद की। श्री श्री जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुभद्रा मैया की। हिताय गौर प्रेमानंदी हरि हरि। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरुः श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणरघुनाथान्वितं तं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपाद सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमां विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामीति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणि प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यादेशतारिणे। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्ता राधाकान्ता नमोऽस्तुते। तप्त काञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते दे प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna. It's actually a great pleasure to be getting an opportunity to serve all the devotees. In fact, I grabbed this opportunity. I myself, self-invited myself. Last time I was in the other temples. I thought this time I'll come here. So, on the request of my dear friend and source of inspiration, Grace Narari Chaitanya Prabhu, and all the wonderful senior leaders of the management here, uh, on their request, I have taken this specific topic, deepening relationships in community living. we hear about keeping Krishna in the center of our life, of our family, of our community. But this seems a little esoteric, keeping Krishna in the center. What do you do? Keep Krishna in the center. Physically, bring Krishna and keep in the center. And with him in the center, we keep fighting. Krishna knows my heart. You don't know, you don't understand. So, what does it actually mean, physically, literally? And how could we truly bring uh, a lifestyle within our family and within our extended family of our community and live in a way that is truly pleasing to Guru and Krishna? So, this whole presentation is basically based on a beautiful article written by His Grace Ravindra Swarup Prabhu way back in 1980. And he wrote this article based on a book by a sociologist who studied various religious communities of various religion and of various denomination and various sizes, small communities, big communities, and found certain core principles which are there or lacking. Certain core principles. If these principles are lacking, then we have a community where there is insecurity in everyone, there is anxiety, there is competition, there is envy, there's gross or subtle manifestation of ego. Whereas there are other societies where, if certain principles that we are going to discuss today, if they are, which are not very divine even practically, but are very, you know, universal natural principles. And if these are followed, it creates such an amazing environment within the community that once having come within that community, no one would ever want to leave such a place. So he called this article. So he says um, those communities where things are lacking, he calls it Kanishta community, Kanishta Adhikari, where each one thinks I have a relationship with my Lord, but not any relationship with the devotees. Whereas a Madhyamadhikari society, where Ishware tad adhineshu balisheshu dvishachucha prema maitri kripa upeksha yah karoti samadhyama. The difference between uh, a society where people who are slightly advanced in love of God, Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, genuinely when we develop a deeper love of God, then that love of God manifests as prema and sharanagati with relationship to the Lord, and maitri in relationship to his devotees in whom the Lord resides. Of course, he resides in every living entity, Ishvara Sarvabhutana, but there it is manifest because they are allowing the Lord to manifest within their heart. And the same love of the Lord manifests as compassion to those who don't have access to this knowledge. And those who blaspheme or those who are envious, because a devotee is not envious. So therefore he keeps a respectful distance. Upeksha yah karoti samadhyama. So what does a society where everyone is sincerely trying to be or is on the platform of a madhyama adhikari level, what does it look like? How are the dealings? How are the interactions between such devotees? What is the mood, the consciousness of individual? Because a, a chain is as strong as its weakest link. Think about this. Imagine if there's a ship that is anchored and then tied to the ground, and there are thick, huge iron rings, and one of them is of thermocol. How strong is it? It's as strong as is the weakest link. In fact, in our brahmacharya ashram, we had brahmachari class, specific classes only for brahmacharis. Because they need to be really, if they want to continue uh, their exclusive devotional service unconditionally throughout their life, they need to be deeply rooted in scriptures. That should be their nourishment. They should be married to Srimad Bhagavatam. So there is no question of other marriage. So we were having a discussion and we used to give tests, and whoever got first three places, we used to say Haribol 3 times or chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Then one wise man of our ashram stood up and he said, "This is not the way to judge. This brings competitive spirit." So what do? We total all the scores and divide it by the number of people. Whatever the average is the everyone's score. As soon as this consciousness came, those who were really good were approaching the others. भले तेरे को क्या confusion है बता मेरे को. यार तो हम सबको खींच लेगा नीचे तो. Any doubts you have, you ask me. I'll spend an hour with you, 3 hours before exam. So the whole mood changed when this mindset came into the ashram. So, yeah, so I will continue with this. Otherwise, I can, go on. You may have all heard this very famous quote, African proverb, which says, "It takes a whole village to raise a child." And when I was looking up in the internet, you know what? There's a continuity of this quote, which I had never seen before. This seems so nice, no? It takes a village to raise a child. And a child who is not properly taken care of by the village burns the whole village to feel the warmth. थोड़ा हाथ सेकने के लिए. This child is desperately seeking the warmth and love, and if he doesn't find it, he burns the whole village and finds warmth in this cold atmosphere. I said, wow, this is a full quote, makes you very sober. So it's so important that every individual sincerely who has come to take shelter of Krishna and Srila Prabhupada, Brahmanda Brahmite Kono Bhagyavana Jeev, how much we should be concerned about genuinely inspiring, encouraging, protecting, nourishing uh, each of the devotees. What an amazing service to the devotees. So, what is the foundation of deep relationships? Can someone read this? Prabhu, maybe you can have this
Hare Krishna.
microphone. Yeah.
The ISKCON has been established to facilitate these six kinds of loving exchanges between devotees. This society was started single handedly, but because people are coming forward and dealing with the give and take policy, the society is now expanding all over the world. Nectar of Instruction, Text 4.
This is those six loving exchanges. You know, Dadati, Pratigranati, Guhyamakyati, Pachati. There, Prabhupada writes this. Very interesting. You know, this society has been created simply to have the six loving exchanges. That's the purpose. Just like you have this, I always give the example of this Bisleri bottles. Now, how much does a bottle of water cost? 20 rupees. Imagine I go to the shopkeeper and I say, give me the bottle, I'll drink the water and give it to you back, and you give me 15 rupees. Yeah, throw it in the dustbin, who cares? The bottle is the bottle important or the water important? Who said water is important? Dare you carry a bottle tomorrow? But bottle is of not much use unless there is water. If you want to drink water for the whole long journey, and if you want to distribute this water, we need a bottle. So this facility, huge temples in New Jersey, I saw a big church that has been purchased by ISKCON, which was hardly anyone would go there, and now it's packed. So in and of itself, the structure is useless if the substance is lacking. And that substance, Prabhupada says here, is simply the six loving exchanges, without which it becomes a burden to maintain such a facility. So, anukulyasya sankalpo, pratikulyasya varjanam. So, what should we do? The tapasya is to whatever is favorable to creating such an uh, satisfying and nourishing atmosphere. Whatever it takes, we will do it. That is tapasya. And whatever is unfavorable, however it pleasing to the eyes, however pleasing to the mind and the senses and the ego, whatever is unfavorable, we will reject it in this whole community. If we individually and collectively decide like this, instantly or very soon, we can create this kind of a Vaikuntha atmosphere. Yeah.
Elegant temple structures, beautiful deities, melodious kirtans, inspiring lectures, and sumptuous prasadam will attract people to our temple. But loving relationships among devotees will keep them in the long run. His Holiness Radha Swami Maharaj.
I like this statement so much because some people are impressed by wonderful structures, deities, kirtans, lectures, prasad. These things really attract and people are impressed. But transformation takes place only when they see loving relationships amongst devotees. They may appreciate the externals, But what sustains them in the long run, lifelong, to be a part of that community and take a vow and pray in front of Radha Vinod never to leave this association. Pray life after life I may attain this association. When they see these kind of relationships. So this is a test of a community. Yeah.
In shallow communities, status is based on outer appearances. You gain influence by accumulating money, power, and prestige.
Shallow means the relationship is very shallow amongst devotees. And therefore, in such communities, the externals become important in terms of status. You respect those who have a name Das. प्रभु जी आपका नाम रमेश हरि आपका नाम रामचंद्र दास हरि and if an outsider comes and sees this who has genuinely come to advance and he says oh to advance and get respect I need to get this title Das or Prabhu everyone says to everyone that's okay but Das is very important so what should I do to get this you have to chant so how much you want we need 16 now I'm chanting 17 and a half how many years how much you want 3 years 3.5 chant beg borrow steal tell a lie whatever get this Das somehow or the other because as soon as Devi Dasi or Das comes there is respect and if a person is coming for a long time but somehow you know has very kind of some legal name or how many keys are hanging from the side of your dhoti what kind of facility you have they connect this with advancement it is not their fault this is what they see who is being respected because of these kind of things and they think naturally it's not that they are later they become diplomatic political and all that but when they come sincerely and in such an environment with these kind of atmosphere prevails naturally they think that that's what advancement is all about yeah
In deep communities, status is based on integrity, curiosity, and humility.
in those communities where people are systematically trained with wonderful role models two things we need an example and we need training because mere training okay but show me one person who's following this then people will believe that philosophy when they see result there is a person who is expert in he has a full philosophy of how to grow grapes without putting insecticides now grapes can't be grown at all without insecticide insecticides are too much 90% is that itself therefore you have to dip it in the so he was telling that no there is that it can be created without insecticides some gomutra or something like that he was telling everyone would like the lecture but nobody would dare experiment it so there was one person in Nasik a devotee he has 64 or I don't know whatever number of acres of grows only grapes When he heard this, he said, show me 1 acre of land where you have actually grown this. Then I will believe your philosophy. But there wasn't any. But this person was convinced what I'm telling is right. So he tried on half acre, and then it succeeded, then he's increasing it gradually. So many a times our philosophy is no question, it is one of the best. Though we shouldn't get this halo around the head thinking holier than thou, because Krishna inspires everyone to think that may be their best. But we know anarpita charinchirat karunaya avatirna kalau samarpaitum unnato jarasa. No doubt about it. Because if you hear Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Ramananda Rai Samvad, my God, Sarvadharman Pariteja, Eho Bahya, Age Kaho Ar. Huh? Sharanagati, and he's telling Eho Bahya. Anyway, that's a different direction. I don't want to go there. It will go philosophical. Today we are here to discuss. The point is, you may speak the highest philosophy, but until devotees or people practically see its application, in fact, when they see such sweet, loving relationships, they want to know what is your philosophy, what do you believe in, that it has made you, as a group, such an amazing, group of people. So we may speak, like hold the audience stunned by your presentation of philosophy. But if people don't see that, they may not be inspired. So just like for our sustenance of our own devotion, we need our sadhana to be very nice, individual devotional service. Similarly, in Vaishnava social dealings, there are some sadhana that you must follow. Without that sadhana, the social dealings will not be healthy.
6 regulative principles to keep our relationships pure and deep.
So, what I'm going to discuss today is 6 powerful, universal principles which, if applied in our interactions and dealings amongst each other within a community, it will create, just like a good sadhana creates a strong, founded, based individual whose determination will not waver in any circumstance and situation. These sadhana, the 6 regulative principles, if we follow in our lives, in our collective sadhana, and that will be very healthy. And any upheavals that comes up, and that's natural in this world, it will not shake the faith and the relationships amongst Vaishnavas.
If applied with proper attitude and determination, it will immediately bring about a positive difference around us.
And you may say, Prabhuji, I'm chanting since 13 years, kuch ho nahi raha andar. No, it is happening, but you may not be able to. The mere fact that you have sustained for 13 years means hopefully that chanting is accepted by Krishna. But here, if we apply these 6 principles in our social dealings, instantly, within yourself, you will notice a very positive feeling and create, at least around you, a very positive atmosphere. And instantly, very soon, you can see it very soon.
It will purify our hearts, being true peace of mind, help become a better individual, thus helping us advance in spiritual life.
And also simultaneously helping others. This is amazing. This is one of the best service you can do to other Vaishnavas. By trying to be a ideal Vaishnava. Wherever a Vaishnava is mentioned, glorified, generally it's not about he was so tall and his nose was like this, his ears and his skin texture was like this. Yeah, of course, 32 signs of a Mahatma is there. But you may have someone who is having externally none of these, not many of these, but very dear to Krishna. So a Vaishnava is about qualities. Wherever, whether it is in the Gita, Titikshava, or what is that? Amanitvam, Adambitvam, Ahimsa, Kshanti, Marjavam, Acharya Upasanam, Shaucham, Stairyam, Atma Vinigraha. And 12th canto, what is 12th chapter? Adveshta Sarvabhutanam Maitra Karuna Evacha. Nirmamo Nirahankara Samadukka Sukashami. Santushta Satatam Yogi Yatatma Dhrida Nishchaya. Yomad Bhakta Same Priya. Yomad Bhakta Same Priya. Krishna doesn't say one who is tall and minimum 6 feet. This color of fairness, applying fair and lovely every day. None of that. Qualities. Substance is a quality. And we also think that, you see, a person may be very beautiful, but what we are attracted is the quality ultimately. Kaikeyi was the most beautiful, by the way, in whole of, Ayodhya, till Sita Mata came. But when she associated with Manthara, she became so hard-hearted, without any consideration, sent Ram, more dear to her than her life, sent away. And even her husband is begging, you'll die and you'll become a widow. I don't care. So it is said that nobody wanted to see Kaikeyi after that. And by chance, if they saw, they would go and jump into the river with the clothes on. Early morning, I saw this lady, inauspicious. It never says that Kaikeyi suddenly became Kurup. She was the same. But so what really attracts is externally, you may be impressed by the beauty, but you are inspired and attracted genuinely by the long-term basis, by the qualities.
These 6 principles are A, B, C, D, E, F.
That's it. Mahaprasade Govinde. Thank you. So I hope you all understood. Actually, just these 6 letters, alphabets. And I did this just so that you can easily remember. And it's a fact. A, B, C, D, E, F. These are the ABCD of social dealings. So, everyone ready? Tighten your seatbelts. Here we go. Bye. Okay. A stands for appreciation and respect. This is Srila Prabhupada's letter to Tamal Krishna Maharaj.
Your appreciation for the service of your God brothers is very much laudable. This is actually a devotee's business, that everyone should appreciate the value of other devotees. Nobody should criticize anyone, because everyone is engaged in the service of the Lord according to one's capacity. And the thing is, Krishna wants to see how much one is sincere in rendering him service.
So it's such a direct, elaboration of what will please Krishna, especially those who are in a leadership position. Now you may say, oh, thank God, I'm not in a leadership position. No, knowingly or unknowingly, who is a leader? Who has a follower? Without your knowledge, somebody may be constantly observing you. Wow, every day he comes, every Sunday he comes. Right time is there. You may not say a word and you may be preaching so loudly that so many are following you or so many are inspired by you. Parents are the natural leaders, Prabhupada writes. Similarly, every one of us is a leader because yadyad acharati. As soon as we behave in a very positive way, then naturally so many people are inspired and attracted and develop a desire to follow that quality. So you're a leader in that sense.
Simple dose of honest appreciation by openly glorifying devotees regularly as a rule.
You can make this as a regulative principle. Of course, this doesn't mean there's some devotees I know. Prabhuji, you're a pure devotee. He said, what do you want, Baba? Just tell me. So this should be a dose of honest appreciation. It should come from your heart. Not necessarily every statement should have, after every paragraph, Prabhuji, you're so wonderful. No. Wherever you saw something nice, you saw something, appreciable, you just mention that. Oh, I really liked what you did. And Mamaji, that was very nice of you to have, sensitive enough to offer her a seat and all that. I was thinking like that. Anything that we just think someone appreciates a small thing in you, suddenly there is such a positive vibration that comes in our heart. Imagine if everyone is desperately trying to look for something to appreciate. This is honest. On a regular basis. So let's try to become a honeybee and not a housefly. That is a Vaishnava. Saragrahi. He is Saragrahi. He sees only the essence. Even in a person with not so many good qualities, one good thing is there. Everyone was laughing in Srirangam at this hefty, muscular wrestler, Dhanurdas, while he was, the procession is going of Lord Ranganath. Everyone is looking at the Lord and he's looking at his girlfriend, Hemamba. He's shading her, head with an umbrella and looking at her eyes. Everyone was ridiculing. But within that Dhanurdas, Ramanuja saw, wow, vyavasayatmika buddhi ekya. This fellow is a true appreciator of beauty. And he took that one quality and fanned it with his prayers. He actually brought Dhanurdas. You are a devotee of beauty, isn't it? Yeah. Chal, tere ko wo bhi dikhata hu dusra. And next, it's not that Dhanurdas was not seeing Ranganath's work. He was probably seeing every day. But then today, when Ramanuja brought him, he actually started praying to the Lord and glorifying. When a devotee who has love for Krishna, when we hear or associate with them, there is a big chance of becoming a lover of God than directly going in front of the Lord. People are not attracted to the liquor by seeing the bottle. But if they associate with a drunkard who loves and hears from him, क्या मजा आता है. थोड़ा मसाला कुरमुरा, थोड़ा भजिया, एक एक सिप डिम लाइट करके मेरे को भी लेने का है. कहां मिलता है, कितना पैसा. So more than seeing the Lord, you may see the Lord but you don't know. But those who have love for the Lord, by seeing their activities and by hearing from them about the beauty of the Lord, you develop. That's why it is. That's why when Mahaprabhu was told by Ramananda Rai, Sthane sthita, what is that shloka? Jnane prayasa udapasanamanta eva jivanti sanmukharita bhavadi sthane sthita shruti gatam tanuvang manobhir. He said, Eho hoy, aage kaho ar. Till then he said, Eho bahya, Eho bahya. Because our love for Lord increases when we hear or see the activities of those who are lovers of God. So, when we develop it as a rule to just see if something is good, try to see only good and appreciate. Instantly, it creates such an amazing, sweet atmosphere. A positive energy rises up.
It will improve our attitude towards others and benefit those who hear it.
Both by only taking a vow to see only good in others and speaking about it as and when necessary at a suitable time, not only will it benefit us, but it also benefit those who hear it. This is a Vaishnav. This is a Vaishnav.
It should be done to the smallest of people.
It's much easier to glorify those who are senior to us. It's easier. It's very natural. Prabhuji, you are so great. Oh, aur kya? But even in the smallest of people, that means it's not about Pandita Samadarshina. We see good in everywhere, in everything, in every situation. That's a Vaishnava, Saragrahi. Even Parikshit Maharaj, he said, the Brahmana's curse has come in the form of a boon to me. Wow. The Shapa has become a Vardhan. So in every situation, trying to see only the good. In every individual, in every thing. That is a Vaishnava.
Krishna appreciates smallest but sincere efforts of all.
Yeah, it's the effort. You may be speaking with some broken word, doesn't matter, but Krishna sees the intent. It is said, God sees the result. Sorry, man sees the result, but God sees the effort. Man sees the lips, but God sees the heart. So our intent is what is seen by Krishna. What is our intent?
Example, Hanuman and the squirrel, Rupa Goswami and Kolavecha Sridhar.
Yeah, it's very interesting. If you see, uh, for Lord Ram, it's not about Hanuman was throwing mountain peaks and boulders, huge boulders, for constructing the bridge, while the squirrel was trying to, push some to go inside the ocean and roll in the mud and just to shake up some dust, some grains of sand. But in the eyes of Lord Ram, they were both the same. Why? Because both were doing their full capacity according to their ability. So that's such a relief. Whether it is Rupa Goswami writing books for next 10,000 years of Lord Chaitanya's mission, or Kolavicha Sridhar, when Lord during Mahaprakash, he told the devotees, call Sridhar. कौन श्रीधर भाई? Database में किसी का नाम ही नहीं है. Nobody knew. Imagine, nobody knew who Sridhar was. And Mahaprabhu was telling, call Sridhar. He knew. In his database it had. And I said, where to find? I just go out. Somebody crying madly in the middle of the night, get him. So that was Sridhar. Lord Chaitanya would spend, as a regulative principle, hours together with him, just to bargain for the leaf cups and bananas and things like that. So to him, Rupa Goswami and all the Shad Goswamis were as dear to him as Kolavicha Sridhar, who practically no one knew. His Holiness Radhanath Swami, whenever he does this Pushabhishek and flower petals, invariably I go and sit and hear the lecture, because it is so encouraging and so inspiring to hear that when Krishna says, Patram Pushpam Phalam Toyam Yome Bhaktat Prechati. Tadam Bhakti Upartam Ashnam. Can you imagine? This is Krishna is saying. If one offers me with love and devotion a flower, a fruit, a leaf, or some water, I accept it. दुर्योधन का 56 भोग न खायो, रूख साख विदुर कर खायो. So
Everyone is a limb of Srila Prabhupada's body. Small or big, all are important.
I said, Prabhu, I really love you, but not your last toe of your right leg. How can that be, Baba? You love me wholesale, package deal. I love you, but not your nose, not your ears, not your eyes. Who do you love? So I love Prabhupada. This is Prabhupada's limbs, small or big. Do you not love your small toe? Only when it gets hurt, you realize how important it is. Till then, we don't realize its value.
All are doing as much as we are, best of their capacity.
Yeah, Krishna sees that effort.
Especially managers should not judge others by amount of service done. Example, Ravindra Sarup Prabhu and the four Vaishnavas.
Yeah,
Amazing.
this is amazing when Ravindra Swarup Prabhu expresses it himself. He said, as managers generally, we tend to appreciate, respect, and judge. बहुत sincere devotee, बहुत sincere. Why? How visible they are, how significant service they are doing to the temple or to the mission. So there is a tendency that we end up thinking the sincerity or judge the sincerity and dedication and commitment based on the external. Somebody may have a very favorable situation at home. Somebody may not have absolutely any favorable, but still, if they have a sincere desire and do whatever little, Krishna sees that all. So, especially in the West, you don't have servants. Concept of servants is not there. Everyone has to do, and the whole temple is run by devotees only. So there were three ladies who were like pillars, bamboo pe tambu. The whole tambu stands on these three bamboo. So one was full in charge of DT department, one of kitchen, and one of management. हो गया बस और क्या चाहिए तुमको? Everything was running nicely, and there was one lady who looked very spaced out. You know, she'd be doing experiment with this and that, and new books and alternate medicine and all that. And she was thinking this lady is a little spaced out. And one time, fortunately or unfortunately, all these three fell seriously sick. And for a few weeks, they just couldn't come for services. The whole temple was in crisis situation. And at that time, this lady, who is supposed to be a little spaced out, through her all alternate medicine, she would visit all these three ladies' houses, and she made them stand up within a week by her special kind of a treatment and all that. At that time, Ravindra Swarup Prabhu said that I decided not to judge people simply by their external situation, or judge their sincerity and commitment and dedication by that. Because, of course, we encourage, but at the same time, we can't judge who is who just by the. So, this is about A. A is, yeah. And now we move to B. Being conscious of others' needs, and others' feelings or emotions. This is a very simple thing, actually. Paradukha dukhi. Being conscious, that is Vaishnava. Vaishnava janato tene kahiye je Peed paraye jane re. Nothing Mehta said this. That's a Vaishnava, paradukha dukhi. So, being conscious of others' needs and others' emotions and sentiments. Sorry, I have the treatment by this alternate medicine person, which is bringing up all my cough. This is a very healthy sign for me. It's a disturbance during a talk, but it's a healthy sign. It's bringing out the phlegm which is gathered and that was choking up. So please forgive me for that. Yeah.
Srimad Bhagavatam 9.4.66. My Nirbadha Hridaya Samadarshana. He can therefore see everyone on the spiritual platform. He can comprehend the happiness and distress of all living entities. He understands that what is happiness to him is also happiness to others, and what is a distress to him is distressing for others. Therefore, he is sympathetic to everyone.
This is the shlokas that are 6 beautiful shlokas, one of the best shlokas, or one of the best in Bhagavatam, in Ambarish Maharaj and Durvas Muni Prasanga. There he's telling, glorifying Ambarish Maharaj, who apparently looked like a grahastha and a pound shilling pence man. And here is the renounced yogi, Durvasa. And to Durvasa is telling, Mai nirbadha hridaya, they have captured my heart. Sadhavaha, vashe kurvanti mam bhaktya, they win over me through their devotion. Sat striyaha satpadim yatha. As a chaste wife brings her gentle husband under control by her service. So, therein, Prabhupada, amazing description of Samadarshi. He said Samadarshi means very simple. If someone pinches you, do you like it? No. So don't pinch others. I never found another simpler definition of Samadarshi than this. Simple. तेरे को जो अच्छा नहीं लगता दूसरों को मत कर. Whatever you like, do it to others. So simple, but so complex to apply. And actually it captures the Lord. Lord is captured by such an attitude.
Putting ourselves in others' shoes, acknowledging that they too have needs and emotions like us.
As simple as that. Try to put yourself in their shoes. Where does this come from? This has come from China, it seems. तो चाइना वाले बहुत छोटे शूज होता है उनका. And if you wear them, and then you may be thinking you're walking, अरे ऐसा क्यों चलता है? तू पहन इसको. And you walk, हाँ यार चुभता है. वही तो मैं बोल रहा था तब से. So put ourselves in other situation, and if I were to be in that situation, and if someone dealt with me like this, I would not like it. I would not do it. As simple as that.
We generally focus on our own needs, not conscious of offending or hurting others.
It's amazing. That is self-absorption. They are so much thinking about them. First time in my life, I heard a devotee committing suicide. This was in 1991, whom I knew well in our community. And I was a little shocked and was feeling bad. But then I approached a very senior person, and this person said, this is the most selfish thing to do. I said, really? How can you think? This is the most selfish act. You're so self-absorbed. You think, I'm useless, I'm this. In spite of being given such an amazing facility, it's all about the mind. You can focus on the whole sky or focus on one particular dot there and absorb your consciousness in this. How foolish. How foolish. So people do become so self-absorbed, even though they have this opportunity, manasa, vacha, karmana, to render devotional service. It's such an amazing. Yes, situations may be really bad. Everyone goes through that, but that's escapism. Real escapism is this, you know. This is escaping mentality. Foolish. Ignorantly, they don't understand that they are hurting themselves more. So, well, we may not go to that extreme, but still, we become so self absorbed. We are only thinking of our comfort, our needs, and totally oblivious to the people surrounding us in terms of their situation, their seniority, their whatever.
Becoming aware of how our behavior, attitudes, and interactions affect others, and correcting immediately if negative. Leaders especially need to take care of this.
Yeah. So, we should be conscious in our behavior, in our attitude, in our interactions. How is it affecting? And if we have the good fortune of realizing it, if you are conscious and introspective, or if you have the good fortune of somebody, genuine well wisher, giving us a feedback, um, we should immediately try to correct ourselves. You know, especially leaders need to take care of this because leaders can help the most or hurt the most. They can help you the most because of their position, because of their power, because of their situation. And they can hurt the most because people come and open their heart and, you can pierce it or you can put some medicine.
First step is to understand and admit that a problem exists. Example, misarticulation of speech.
Very interesting. I'm a speech therapist, by the way. I did my master's in speech and hearing science, and I was working for 3.5 years. So please don't come to me for speech problems and all that. If you have hearing problem, come to me. I'll tell you. Now I'm doing speech and hearing, Shravanam and Kirtanam. So same profession, but uh, subjects changed. So there, children would come and they would not know. Uh, they would mispronounce words. They can't say r, lam, ale lam, 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 lam. And when they say to say ram, lam. So they don't even, first they are doing a mistake or not producing right, but they are not even aware. So then, what we do is we make them sit in front of the mirror. Ra, la, ra, la, acha, acha. Then they say la, 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 la. Are nahi, ra, la. And then we make, okay, some pictures. Ray of light. And lay down. Ray and lay. This ray. So with pictures, in the initial position, end position, middle position. Slowly they understand. Oh. Ra is different from la. Then they start producing it. Sometimes they miss, but sometimes they do it. And then they become perfect. I heard a beautiful seminar on habit, and I like this. What is a bad habit? Bad habit is unconscious incompetence. You are not even conscious of your incompetence. You're doing something wrong, but you're not even competent. You're not even conscious of it. Sometimes in the middle of the meeting, you're fingering your nose. Sometimes when people are deeply thinking, then and they're not even aware, right in the middle of the meeting. 10 people sitting, and this is a chief person. So unconscious incompetence. Then there is education. You become conscious of your incompetence. Gadbadi tha ye. Now I realize it's wrong. Then comes training, conscious competence. You say, and I say, no. What I meant was this. Consciously competent till You become unconscious competence. Wake up in the middle of the night, still you will do the same thing because it's become a second nature for you now. So similarly, even this being conscious of others, etc., it's an effort. First, we were not conscious, then we become conscious of our incompetence, then we become consciously competent till we become unconsciously competent. Okay, so A stands for appreciation and respect. B stands for being conscious of others' needs and emotions. Now we come to C, communication skills.
It is important because it creates and sustains a community.
I can tell you, it is so important. I can't tell you how important it is. 3 days seminar can be given on this. 3 days, huh? 10 to 1 and 2 to 6. On so many aspects of communication. Thanks to, ISKCON started this communication seminar. And first time I understood, my God, what kind of, blunders we were doing. Not understanding the basic art of communication. In fact, for a community, it creates and sustains a community if communication is very good. It can break all a community if this communication is not proper.
It is the basis of all social interactions.
Yeah, nobody is Paramatma here to understand what you feel. ऐसा क्यों देख रहा है? नहीं, तेरी भलाई के लिए सोच रहा हूँ. भलाई क्या? I thought you were staring at me thinking इसको मार देना कब छोड़ना इसको. Oh, who knows what you think unless you speak it out, unless you clarify. Of course, doesn't mean only communication. More than 60% is our body language also. So communication is not just what you speak. Where you emphasize, which word you emphasize. I am going to Bangalore, not you. I am going to Bangalore, whether you like it or not. I'm going to Bangalore, not coming. I'm going to Bangalore, not Bombay. So depending upon what you stress upon, which word you stress upon, emphasize. That is why WhatsApp communication is most dangerous. Because you say something and sometimes emoji also gets mixed up. Somebody died. I'm telling you, sitting on a Vyasasana, I can't tell a lie in a temple. Somebody died and one fellow, 3 claps like this. He thought pranam kar rahe ho. So rather than putting this, he put this with all the. Immediately I called, पता इसको निकाल पहले तो delete कर. तो ताली बजा रहा है. मुझे ताली जल्दी नहीं प्रभु जी मेरा ऐसा डाल दीजिए. And sometimes sometimes they don't even check, read what it दबा दिया भेज दिया. बाद में समझ में आया. Because of some missed typos, whatever happened. Instead of congratulations, condolences. दबा दिया जल्दी भेज दिया वाले. अब पढ़ा भी नहीं क्या भेजा. So it is, and today it's becoming more. They don't even write full sentence. Put half, 1 word, 2 words. एक साथ बोलना यार, भड़बड़ करके थोड़ा थोड़ा, like vomiting little bit here and there. It leads to so much misunderstandings.
Honest communication achieves miracles.
Many a times, in terms of very much crisis and like situation, when a person in a position of leadership honestly communicates, this is it, here we are, that's our situation, it can actually create miracles. Say power when you actually tell the truth. Of course, how to tell, when to tell, how much to tell, that requires maturity. One devotee told very nicely, what is maturity? He said maturity is balance between courage and consideration. You should be courageous to speak the truth, but you should be considerate about the time, place, and circumstance. Some people are courageous. They take a sword and keep on turning it. So very brave, without understanding the trail of damaged faith that they leave behind in the heart of people. Some are so sensitive. अगर ऐसा बोलूंगा तो इसको क्या लगेगा, ये बोलूंगा तो उसको क्या, इसलिए बोलना ही नहीं, चुपचाप. No, you have to speak, but when to speak, how much to speak, what to speak, how to speak. This requires communication seminar.
Without it, the best philosophy can't help in building a lasting community.
Yeah, for creating a sustainable community, and what to speak of expanding it in due course. If this communication system is very nicely established and people are so trained, it's a powerful medium. We don't know. This is the only thing that discriminates us from the other living entities. We have a power of communication.
Good communication involves the following.
Okay, what does it mean to have a good communication?
It should be two-way, not one-way.
Yeah. I saw one nice cartoon in a magazine. So this man is reading newspaper and says to his wife who's cooking in the kitchen, "Is lunch ready?" No response. Then he drops the newspaper. "Is lunch ready?" No response. He goes near and shouts, "Is lunch ready?" And she says, "This is the third time I'm telling you, I'm shouting at the top of my voice, lunch is ready." The problem is he has a hearing impairment. It's not her, she's shouting. उस तरफ मुड़ के बोल रही, हाँ तैयार है, आ जाओ. He can't hear. You think other person is wrong. No, you may not be communicating. About 25 years ago, one of our very senior brahmacharis, he went to a particular satellite center, and there he gave a class, and some of the younger brahmacharis met him and expressed certain concerns, so which they were hesitating or were a little reluctant to tell their authority. So this senior devotee who was a friend with her, he met and he said, "Prabhuji, थोड़ा ध्यान रखो." "हैं? क्या ध्यान? Hey, बुलाओ सबको बुलाओ सबको." हाँ. Everyone came and stood in a line. 8 of them, like a military. "Hey, खाना मिलता है कि नहीं तुम लोगों को?" "मिलता है ना प्रभु." "और रहने के लिए धोती कुर्ता मिलता है कि नहीं?" "हाँ." "सोने के लिए मिलता है?" "हाँ मिलता है." "और साबुन ब्रश सब मिलता है?" "हाँ." "क्या तकलीफ है तुम्हारा?" "कुछ तकलीफ नहीं प्रभु जी." "खुश हो ना तुम? खुश हो कि नहीं?" "हाँ प्रभु जी खुश." "चलो जाओ." "I told you प्रभु जी, everything is fine." And this devotee understood what is the problem. There is only one way communication, top down, no bottom up. So this was the problem. So sometimes people don't understand that the communication is not happening properly.
It broadens one's perspective and strengthens one's relations.
Yeah, you may be thinking, "अरे वाह, कुर्सी कितना clean है." And a small child underneath says, "नहीं, अंदर पूरा cobweb है नीचे." अच्छा, देखा नहीं. So your perspective increases when people from below, people from here, people from there give their perspective. Then you get a broader understanding. It's like a diamond. Somebody says yellow, somebody is green, somebody says red. It's all and more. So yeah, it broadens our perspective and strengthens one relationships. People feel heard. There is a sutra, understand before being understood. I don't understand. Then they become, many a times I have seen people come to express themselves some problem. And what I do is I just hear them. And at the end they say, "Prabhuji, thank you so much. आपने इतना अच्छा solution दिया." बोला, मैं कुछ नहीं बोला. Because while speaking, somebody hearing them, they realize what the solution is. Many times it happens like that. And I tell them, ये करोगे तो नहीं, ऐसा नहीं होगा। ओ प्रभु जी ऐसा करो तो, और ये किया तो ये तो करेगो क्या? हाँ प्रभु जी अभी समझ में आ गया क्या करना है. Like that.
Without it, there will be dissatisfaction and even rebellion.
So initially it starts with dissatisfaction, and then the Gen Z will rebel and put fire in the whole of Nepal and throw the government. Same, because communication is not happening only one way. I am disseminating knowledge, but without taking a feedback. So therefore, there is a rebel. If both sides are not happening, even in relationships, individual relationships, family relationships, most of the time it is one-sided communication. The other tolerates, and one day, and then you wonder, hey, why did this person leave? Why did this person commit suicide? And all because there is no communication.
It should be non-judgmental, valuing the individual.
Sorry.
No problem. Valuing the individual and sympathizing.
Yeah. Imagine a judge. So the person comes and stands in the, what is that, Katgara? What do you call it? Witness box. The person against whom all the allegations are there. And the judge says, all right, he should be hanged to death. माँ अभी बोलो तेरे को क्या बोलने का है? अभी क्या बोले? मारा टंगा दिया यार मेरे को. You already given the decision. You're given a judgment, and now you want to hear. In the very beginning years, when I had not heard communication seminar, there was an individual who called me and he said, Prabhuji, I need to talk to you. I said, Acha, I need about half an hour. Oh, ठीक है. And he came. By that time, I called his another colleague and asked, भाई क्या चल रहा है इनका? So that I can guide properly. And I heard, and as soon as he came and bowed down, I also bowed down. And I told him, Prabhuji, especially in this regard, you should do this. Anyway, let's sit. He got up and left. अरे आधा घंटा बोला था आपने. In fact, he had come to discuss that issue itself. And unfortunately, luckily I got the right, understood what is the topic, but only thing is, before hearing, I already gave a decision. And I was wondering, what did I do wrong? क्या किया मैं? Until I attended communication seminar, I said, oh, big blunder, judgmental.
It is possible, satisfying, and necessary for harmony and progress.
Good communication is possible. It is so satisfying to the heart of both the individuals and necessary if at all we want harmony and progress of the collective body. Okay, appreciation and respect. B, others' needs and emotions to be added. C, communication skills. So now D is transcending individual differences. So what are the differences?
Most important attitude for community members.
In this world, no one is alike. No fingerprint is alike. No soul is alike. Everyone is unique. As unique as their signature or their. So, and this, to appreciate these differences is actually a great, asset. It has to be cultivated within. That people are not alike. They're different. They're unique. Each one is gifted in a unique way. A tortoise has its own, unique quality. A bird has, a monkey has, and a rabbit has its own. सबको एक ही रेस में लगा दिया, बोला पेड़ चढ़ने का. The bird, you have to climb the tree. Not only monkey will win gold.
Hare Krishna, we may request all the devotees if they can just take few seconds and put their phones on vibration, because there's a seventh ring I have counted. If you can please, if you can all just take few seconds and put it in vibration.
Prabhuji is a Shrutidhar. He is hearing the lecture and counting how many times the bell has rung. There is a Shrutidhar competition. If there is a Shatabadhani, Shata is 100, Avadhan means Savadhan. How much? So people are sitting and suddenly one fellow is asked a question. So and so, this fellow, 100%. And after 100, this person has to remember, पहला प्रश्न तू पूछा था, क्या पूछा था, और उसका उत्तर. Second question was asked by you. The question was this, and the answer is this. And while this question answer is going on, somebody behind him, tong, tong, he's ringing a bell. And at the end of the whole question answer, he says, तूने 5,896 बार घंटी बजाया. So here, right amidst us in our community, we are so fortunate to have a Shatavadhani, Saptavadhani. Okay. नहीं तो डिस्टर्ब थोड़ी होता हो, घंटी सुनते रहते थे.
Appreciate variety brought by individuality of each members.
It's amazing when we appreciate the differences and the variety brought about by these differences. It's such an asset to ISKCON. Can you imagine the 5 Pandavas? They were not the same. First is Yudhishthira Maharaj, Sarve Bhavantu Sukhina, Sarve Bhavantu Sukhina. One devotee called Yudhishthira Maharaj as Dharmic Hinduism. Sarve Bhavantu Sukhina, Sarve Bhavantu. And he called Bhima as militant Hinduism. Bajrang Dal. ट्रक मिला तो आग लगाओ, बाद में देखो ट्रक में कौन है. And then called Arjun as diplomatic Hinduism, like BJP. शत्रु है, but काम में आया तो अंदर आ जाओ, will tie up and necessary. So the Pandavas had variety. Duryodhan was only scared of Bhim. He was not afraid of Yudhishthir. इसको तो डब्बे में डाल के हम लोग एक पासा डालेंगे तो बस अंदर आ जाएगा. ये पहले ठोकेगा, बाद में पूछेगा. So we need all types of people in a group, and that brings variety. Imagine if Krishna in this whole world had created only one fruit, banana. अच्छा, आज ब्रेकफास्ट में क्या है? बनाना. लंच में क्या? बनाना. डिनर बनाना. आई गो बनाना. थोड़ा नहीं, आज ये थोड़ा ये हो जाए, थोड़ा खट्टा हो जाए. It's amazing. Variety is the mother of enjoyment, as they say. So each one is unique. That brings such a wonderful flavor to the whole group and the community. This is extremely important for ourselves. Attentive to help improve individual. So we did that. That we are a Varishta Vaishnava, anyone above 60, stand in another queue, and then we said rest of them, any one of these three, other three. Of course, Malaji separate this. And within max 10 minutes, everyone would get prasad. I said, wow, this is good. So we never thought, we were just thinking we are doing very good. But somebody gave a feedback, an outsider, first timer. One man told Prabhupada, what is this? You're selling pamphlets like this. You make it into a book, people will keep it and read it. Prabhupada didn't say, Gadha kahin ka. You know who I am? Mahabhagavat? Nitya Siddha? He says, oh, my Guru Maharaj is speaking through you. What an amazing humility and openness. Genuinely appreciate certain corrections and feedbacks being given by genuine well-wishers. This person, poor old man, is doing so much, but nobody is bothering it. So he gave his feedback. And Prabhupada appreciated that.
Self critical, open, and thoughtful to the feedback of others.
Yeah.
Learning the art of giving and taking feedback.
This is very important. We should know the art of how to give feedback and how to take feedback. So we'll discuss that. So this is the art of how to take feedback if someone gives.
Not ignoring, but rather requesting and welcoming them.
Many a time, out of humility, we say, Prabhu ji, kuch bhi hai na, सीधा बताने का. 10 times he says. And then after 10 times you think, बोलूं कि नहीं बोलूं? बोलूं कि नहीं बोलूं? And then you think, ठीक है प्रभु जी, आपने बोला था, 10 बार पूछा था, तो बोलूं क्या? हाँ बोलो ना. आपका थोड़ा ही सुधारना है. Then for 10 years he is not to be seen in front of you. He may start justifying, गधा समझता नहीं है, do you not understand? He said, Baba, ठीक है. This is the last. In 10 lifetimes I will not give you feedback. Because very costly affair. So it's one thing to say it, but it's another thing to mean it. So, yes, rather than ignoring, we can request, and if someone gives, we welcome. Whether we accept it or not, that's another thing. On the face of it, don't justify. Okay, this is how you see it. Thank you very much. I'll look at it. I'll think about it. Even that's good enough.
Not seeing it as an antagonism or negativity.
Yeah, thinking तेरे को गलत कहाँ से information मिला? तेरे को गलत information मिल रहा है. तेरा source गलत है. Your source is wrong. Or trying to, like negative and trying to justify and things like that.
Seeing it as an opportunity for self improvement.
Yeah, if we are, it's an amazing opportunity to improve.
accepting with gratitude.
Thank you so much. Because you think about it. If you want to give a feedback to others, we think 50 times, बोलूं कि नहीं बोलूं, बोलूं कि नहीं बोलूं, कब बोलूं, कैसा बोलूं, साइलेंट डायरेक्टली उसको बोलूं, किसी और को बोलूं उसको बोलने के लिए. Should we do that? How would we do that? And then he comes and tells you something. So if a person is giving a feedback, that means he must have thought about it so many times.
To work upon it and report back for checking, clarifying.
In my temple, in our temple, Radha Gopinath Mandir Chapati, I was selected as the ombudsperson for the brahmacharis. You know what ombuds is? Ombuds is a person. Suppose uh, I have to give a feedback to Swayam Prakash Prabhu or somebody. But kaisa bolu bhai, how will you accept? So he comes and tells the ombuds. And the ombuds goes and tells, without telling the name, one devotee gave you a feedback. Aisa hai. Anything you want to say? Without his knowledge, I give a feedback, and without his knowledge, I communicate to him. So I was chosen as an ombudsperson for whatever reason. And one devotee, 2 years in the ashram, he came to me and he told me, प्रभु जी बुरा नहीं मानो तो एक बात बोलूंगा. बोला हाँ बोलना. बोला मुझे एक आप ombudsman बोला हाँ. I want to tell you something. Yeah. And he named one of the senior most devotees in the whole ashram. And he said, प्रभु जी पब्लिकली सोते रहते जपा में वो. उनको बोलो ना थोड़ा. I mean, like, if he sleeps in his room, okay, during japa, huh? Publicly sleeping, dozing, constantly is more dozing than chanting. So please tell him. So I went to this senior-most devotee, one of the senior-most devotees, and I said, Prabhu, I want to give you a feedback. Well, there's this person, new devotee relatively, but brahmachari. He is genuinely, concerned, and therefore he expressed. And he told this. And he said, okay. And he left. He did reply, do I want, tell something to him? Thank you. बोला thank you बोले भाई. बस. After 2 months, the senior brahmachari came to me and he said, I'm doing this 1, 2, 3, 4 steps I have taken to keep myself a little bit awake. I know, I had, because I have some physical issue and therefore if I sit, I start sleeping. तो मैं कभी कभी उठता हूँ बीच में चलता हूँ वो कर रहा हूँ ये कर रहा हूँ these 4 things I am doing. Please ask him, whoever he is, does he see any improvement in me? And I went and told him, प्रभु जी वो प्रभु जी ने आपको कुछ बोला है. बोला क्या बोला, गाली दिया क्या? बोला नहीं he's working on it. He had tears in his eyes. बोले प्रभु जी ने इतना सीरियसली लिया उसको. वो बोला तू बोला तो लेंगे ना यार. He's taken so seriously. He was so moved by this. And I was moved by this person. I said, my God, मेरे कोई बोला हो तो पता कितना साल हुआ है, कितना माला करते तुम. तो जब पैदा नहीं होता दांतों से ताला तोड़ता था मैं. How many seasons I have seen. A tendency of the ego is to, kind of justify or, give some reasons. But it's amazing to come back and after. It's not that immediately. He just kept quiet, worked upon himself, then came back. And asked this. I said, wow. So to work upon it and to report back for checking and clarifying. This is amazing. This is true principle of Trinadapi Suni Chena Tarori Vasishna. Okay. The art of giving feedback. This is about taking. Now, I want to give a feedback. What do I do? First is the feedback sandwich. Everyone likes a sandwich, isn't it? प्रभु जी आपको मैं एक सैंडविच देना चाहता हूँ. Ah, very good. What is this sandwich? First, genuinely speak about certain appreciable qualities that you see in this person. प्रभु जी मैं देख रहा हूँ आपका ना सावना जबरदस्त होता है. आपका ये जो मैं देख रहा हूँ ना कुछ जो सेवा होता है ये दो सेवा जो आप लोग कर रहे हैं ना, people are really impressed and it's so clean and everything. Really मानना पड़ेगा. So this is opens the heart. And then after the heart, then you have to do surgery. And surgery में घुमा के घुमाने का नहीं. Immediately tell precisely to the point. After it is opened, the surgeon cannot play around with the scalpel. आज काटूं कि थोड़ा काटूं कि इधर बना थोड़ा डिजाइन बनाओगे. Hey, quick, because it is open now. Quick, precise, to the point, no repetition. Say, however, Prabhu, I feel, and I have heard from others also, that this is some issue that they have expressed their concern about you. And immediately, that part should be crisp to the point. And immediately end up with, I feel, Prabhu, if it is done, I think the services and all the things that you end with positive. I think this will benefit you and the whole community in this way. So prepare, appreciate, positive, then precise to the effect, to the point, the important feedback, and then end with a positive thing. And in this battle, don't beat around. Just tell exactly, genuinely what you feel. It will benefit him and the others.
In a mood of serving the other person,
you should first pray to Radha Vinod. You should pray to Prabhupada that, please, Krishna, is it fault finding? Am I getting pleasure in giving this feedback? Then I better not. But if it is genuinely, I feel it will help that person and it is disturbing, hurting the other persons, I am trying to do it with that prayerful mood, in the mood of a servant, with great reluctance, with great hesitation. When we speak it out, at least from our side, we know we are clear. We just simply want to serve. So that should be the mood.
ask yourself the following 4 questions before giving the feedback.
Yeah, before giving the feedback, at least ask these 4 questions.
Is it the right time?
Yeah, is the time right and ripe?
Is it the right place?
Is it the right place to do it? It is said, praise in public, but chastise in private. Because when you chastise someone in public, you are withdrawing much more than what you are ever given. So is it the right place?
Am I the right person? Emotional deposit / authority.
Am I the right person in terms of have I, enough deposit with this person? And am I have that authority to do it? Vidura could successfully give strong feedback to Dhritarashtra and was successful in the transformation because he had throughout his life invested in, in him. Genuinely, he was a well-wisher. He had no hatred. He had no insecurity of his position and all that. He was not envious. He was genuine well-wisher. Vibhishan, he loved Ravan, but he loved Dharma more than Ravan. Therefore, he gave feedback. So, yes, we have to ask, have we the deposit? Because every time you do something nice, you are emotionally depositing. And every time you give a feedback or criticize, you are withdrawing. So if you are not deposited and only withdrawing, the relationship will get strained. Go into debit account, not a credit account. And are you authority? Suppose it's a senior person and I cannot give. It's not the right thing. then I tell someone who can give him, and that person will be receptive. So you have to think these two things. Am I, emotional deposit, and am I the authority? Right authority.
Do I have the right motive?
Yeah, our motive. I mean, are we getting happiness in finding fault with others? Eagerly waiting how to catch someone doing wrong, so that, one up, I can be one up. So if you are feeling, like sadistic kind of pleasure in finding faults, then I think that's not the right attitude at all. Okay. A. Sorry for repetition again and again. I'm supposed, if I was not in Krishna consciousness, I would be a teacher. That's what I love to do. What I need is an audience and a microphone. And I'm in my elements. Somebody has to stop me. Huh? Oh, 10:30. Sorry, I'll stop in next next 10 minutes. Somebody help me. Give the time. Because one of our Sri Vaishnava speakers, he says, ಮಾತಾಡಿ ಎಂತ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಾರಪ್ಪ ಕೊನೆಯದಾಗಿ ಅಂತ ಕೊನೆನೇ ಆಗಲ್ಲ ಅವ್ರದ್ದು. तो अंततः समाप्त करते करते मैं ये दो शब्द है भाई, 2 घंटे से बोल रहे हो आप. So, okay, so A is appreciation and respect. B, needs and emotions of others. C, thank you. D, not transcendental, transcending individual differences. E, examining self, looking into the mirror. Kaladha, whole world can see under your nose, but you can't see. No place so safe as under the nose of the enemy. I can't see at all. And F is firm and fast to resolve conflicts gracefully. It is inevitable.
Conflicts are natural and unavoidable.
Please never think that ours is a Vaishnava society. Prabhuji, we are all initiated. I am Das, he is Dasanudas, and I am Dasanudas. So there will be no conflict. No! Even in a Vaishnava family, irrespective of who we are, we are in the material world. And therefore, inevitably, it is as inevitable as the taxes. So, it is inevitable. You can't avoid it. Conflicts will come. However,
Confronted with utmost respect for each other.
yeah. In fact, I can, some other time, maybe we can have a full seminar on how to resolve conflicts. One of them is, suppose individually, I don't want to, resolving conflict through a mediator is a third person, because सामने आएगा तो मार दूंगा उसको मैं. When the discussion goes, whatever is in my hand, I'll. So therefore, while mediator they keep all sharp objects away. Some of the mediators sit very close to the door, because if they start fighting and say, "Tu piche bola," so that fellow also wants to run away. So they have to sit near a door. These are instructions to the mediator, especially if powerful parties are involved and heavy set. So one-to-one can be done. Confronting, even that's an art. How to confront genuinely with a mode of servant, and how you present it is very important. Suppose a husband is using a particular, when he's getting angry, he uses a particular word against a particular his wife, and that it's not about what he says, but that word hurts every time he says, or this she says, "You are nikamma, you're not running enough, or you are lazy," or whatever. And I'm really hurt. So I say, "Prabhu, I have a request to make to you. Somehow, by nature, by Krishna's, I'm made in such a way that if someone uses this particular word, I feel really hurt and disturbed. Can I request you that you don't use this word against me? Because that creates, so many chain reactions in my body. So, or this particular action or this particular word, whatever it is, taking it in such a way is like, non, what communication skill? Non-violent communication. It's interesting. So I don't tell, I'm not judgmental. I'm telling that whatever you are, but when you do this, I feel hurt. So can you please be careful to avoid? Because there are several things to be done like that. But the point is how this approach confront with utmost respect for each other, like that. It's a whole seminar. I don't want to go into detail. But if we know, nip it off in the bud. The earlier it is resolved, the better. Because every time, if I have a view against you, then anything you do, it adds to. It's like a ground, and one issue is there is like a brick. And every incident you start interpreting with this perspective, it's like a brick, and it becomes a wall, and you can't face each other anymore. But these kind of confrontations is removing the brick by brick, not this. Don't go to the most sensitive issue. पहले ऊपर से निकालो. कल आपने ऐसा करके देखा मेरे को. हाँ, मैं तेरे पीछे कुर्सी रखा था, उसको देख रहा था. नहीं नहीं, अच्छा आओ, मेरे को लगा आपको देख रहे हो. So communication is helpful in this kind of clarification, and sometimes even confronting with respect, with certain skills, way of doing it.
Establishing systems for resolving conflicts.
We in our temple have a system put in place for resolving conflicts amongst not individual. तुम्हारा family में कुछ होता है उसका यहाँ सुधार लेने के यहाँ नहीं करेंगे, but institutionally in programs in our congregation development department we have developed. So anyone has any issue with the program, with the management committee, or with the preacher, or the preacher with the this whatever, they can report, and here we are to facilitate and remove the conflicts at the budding level, so that later issues become so difficult that it becomes very difficult to consolidate or resolve it. So if systems can be established, that's well and good. All right. So we are done with A, B, C, D, E, F. And now we go to the conclusion.
There is nothing new or revolutionary here.
Have I said anything that is not there or not you have never heard before? आपको लगा कि ये 19th chapter of भगवद गीता? नहीं. Whatever I have spoken is बार बार सुना है बस. अभी एक जगह उसको डाल के सुना है बस. So these things are, most of it, we all know it. Then why did I present it then?
We just need to understand its importance and take the trouble to apply it relentlessly.
If we genuinely want to create a very suitable environment where we ourselves feel happy, satisfied, appreciated, inspired, and progressively grow, and allow others, whoever comes, newcomer, to actually also develop an appreciation and stay and grow, then these 6 regulative principles of social dealings and interactions are so very important. So we just need to understand its importance. We have heard it, but we need to understand its importance. Sometimes we know it, but we don't know it. We know it here, but we don't know it here. We are not convinced about it, or we are not convinced about its importance. And take the trouble to apply it relentlessly. Just continue to do the right thing.
If these practical steps are applied with proper attitude and determination, it will bring about immediate positive difference around us.
You can immediately feel it yourself, and you can immediately sense a very positive energy building around you, and eventually within the whole community.
It will also help us understand our strengths and limitations.
Yeah, individually and collectively, it helps us. I always say this. Our first level of strength is to know our strengths. And what is our strength? All these years, whenever I have taken this risk of taking this decision in this regard, I have always, somehow it works out. मेरा मतलब सिक्स सेंस होता है कि नहीं ये ठीक होता है मेरा, and कभी भी mess up नहीं हुआ है. So that's your strength. The same strength in another given circumstance can become a great limitation and shortcoming. So the next level of strength is to know where this strength is becomes a shortcoming or a limitation. इन स्थितियों में मैं नाक नहीं अड़ाऊंगा क्योंकि मेरे को सेंस नहीं है वो. हाँ, जब भी मैं डिसीजन लिया प्रॉब्लम हो गया. So you know that these situations I am. And the third level of strength is to tie up with a person whose strength is where your shortcoming and limitation is. Then 1 plus 1 is not 2. 1 plus 1 is 11. That is the strength. So in our community, we have all types of people. So we kind of connect and we know whom to approach for what kind of things, who have that kind of strength and do like that.
We have to thoroughly understand and regularly preach the importance of relationships and friendships, individual and collective sadhana.
These two things are the most important. If we understand the importance of relationships and friendships, that's such an amazing gift that Srila Prabhupada has given us. This Vaishnav Sangha. Manushyanam sahasreshu kaschid yata siddhaye. Sometimes we are sitting too close. थोड़ा हिला तो दूसरा वैष्णव, गिरा तो कोई दूसरा वैष्णव, छींक मारा तो दूसरा वैष्णव. So therefore sometimes we see in amongst Vaishnavas we start seeing too crowded, But this is an opulence, really an opulence. Somebody who is a sadhaka, a Vaishnav, a Gaudiya Vaishnav. What a rare, and here so many are sitting so close, So it's such an opulence. But you may be here but not here if you don't have a right attitude and if our interactions and dealings are not appropriate. And therefore, we should understand the importance and regularly preach also through practicing the importance of relationship and friendships and individual and collective sadhana, spiritual and social. Social sadhana is this, A, B, C, D, E, F. And spiritual sadhana is A, B, C, D. Association, books, chanting, and what is waiting for you now. So, I'm done. And I did it exactly in 10 minutes. थोड़ा इधर उधर होता है. Any questions, comments, or somebody has an idea, A, B, C, D, E, F. Prabhuji, G भी है मेरे पास, बताता हूँ. Please add, in my next seminar I will add it.
Hare
Okay.
Krishna, Prabhu.
Yeah.
Somebody there?
Yeah, ಯಾರೋ ಕೈ ಎತ್ತಿದ್ರಲ್ಲ ನೀವು ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ. Okay. No, 1 minute. That gentleman there.
ಹರೇ ಕೃಷ್ಣ. ಪ್ರಭು, ಬಹಳ ದಿನಗಳಿಂದ ನಾನು ಕನ್ನಡಲ್ಲಿ ಕೇಳೋದಾರೆ ವೈಷ್ಣವ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು ಅಂತ ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆ ಕೇಳ್ತಾನೆ ಇದ್ದೆ. ಇವತ್ತು ನನಗೆ ಸರಿಯಾದ ಉತ್ತರ ಸಿಕ್ಕಿದೆ.
ನೀವು ಇವಾಗ ವೈಷ್ಣವ್ ಲಕ್ಷಣ ತೋರಿಸ್ತಿದ್ದೀರಾ, ನಮ್ಮಂತ ಏನೋ ಒಂದು ಒಳ್ಳೆ ಗುಣ ನೋಡ್ತಿದ್ದೀರಾ.
ಐ ವಿಲ್ ಟ್ರೈ ಟು ಬಿಕಮ್ ಒನ್ ವೈಷ್ಣವ, ಟ್ರೂ ವೈಷ್ಣವ.
You are inspiring us all by your words.
ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಚಿಕ್ಕ ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆ, ವೈಷ್ಣವ ಮತ್ತು ಬ್ರಾಹ್ಮಣ ಭಗವದ್ಗೀತೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಸುಮಾರು ಕಡೆ ನಮಗೆ ಬ್ರಾಹ್ಮಣ ಅಂತ ಕೇಳುತ್ತೆ. ಅವೆರಡು ಒಂದೇನಾ ಅಥವಾ ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆನಾ?
ಈಗ ಯಾರಾದರೂ BSc ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ, MSc ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಅವ್ರು ನೀವು ಕೇಳ್ತೀರಾ, ನೀವು SSLC ಆಗಿದೆಯಾ ನಿಮ್ದು? ಇಲ್ಲ, SSLC ಆಗಿದೆ, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ BSc ಆಗಿದೆ. ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟಾಗಿ BSc ಹೋಗ್ಬೋದಾ? ಹಾಗೂ ಇದೆಯಾ? ಇಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ಆಕ್ಚುಲಿ ಶಾಸ್ತ್ರದ ಪ್ರಕಾರ ಟ್ರೂ ವೈಷ್ಣವ, ಭಕ್ತಿ ವಿನೋದ್ ಠಾಕೂರ್ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ, ಈ ಕೊಲಿರ್ ಚೇಲ ಗಲರ್ ಕಂಠಿ ಹಾತೇರ್ ಮಾಲ, ಕಲಿ ಚೇಲ ಆಗ್ಬಾರ್ದು. ನಾವು ತಿಲಕ್ ಹಾಕೊಂಡ್ರಿ, ಕಂಠಿ ಮಾಲ ಹಾಕೊಂಡ್ಬಿಟ್ವಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇವಾಗ ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಬಿಕಮ್ ಎ ವೈಷ್ಣವ. ನೋ, ಟ್ರೂಲಿ ವೈಷ್ಣವ, ಆಸ್ ಐ ಸೆಡ್, ತಿತಿಕ್ಷವ ಕಾರುಣಿಕ ಸುಹೃದ ಸರ್ವದೇಹಿನಾಂ ಅಜಾತ ಶತ್ರವ ಶಾಂತ ಸಾಧವ ಸಾಧುಭೂಷಣ. फलवंत वृक्ष आर गुणवंत जन, नम्रता से तहार स्वभाव अनुकरण. ಫಲವಂತ ವೃಕ್ಷ, ಫಲದಿಂದ ತುಂಬಿರೋ ವೃಕ್ಷ ಮತ್ತೆ ಗುಣದಿಂದ ತುಂಬಿರೋ ಮನುಷ್ಯ. ನಮ್ರತಾ ಸೆ ತಹಾರ ದಿ ಬೆಂಡ್ ಡೌನ್. ಸೊ ವಾಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಎ ಬ್ರಾಹ್ಮಣ? ಬ್ರಹ್ಮ ಜಾನಾತಿ ಇತಿ ಬ್ರಾಹ್ಮಣ, ಷಟ್ಕರ್ಮ ನಿಪುಣೋ ವಿಪ್ರೋ ಮಂತ್ರತಂತ್ರ ವಿಶಾರದ ಬ್ರಾಹ್ಮಣ. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಪ್ರಭುಪಾದರು ಕೂಡ, ಬಟ್ ವೆರಿ ಇಂಟ್ರೆಸ್ಟಿಂಗ್, ಗುಡ್ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ದಟ್ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ರೇಸ್ಡ್. Sometimes we become Vaishnava and afterwards Brahman Diksha is given. ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಹರಿನಾಮ್ ಕೊಟ್ಬಿಡ್ತಾರೆ, ಆಮೇಲೆ ಬ್ರಾಹ್ಮಣ ಆಗ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಟೈಮ್ ಆಗ್ಬೇಕು. ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಶಮಃ ದಮಃ ತಪಃ ಶೌಚಂ ಶಾಂತಿ ರಾರ್ಜವಂ ಜ್ಞಾನಂ ವಿಜ್ಞಾನಂ ಆಸ್ತಿಕ್ಯಂ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮಕರ್ಮ ಸ್ವಭಾವಜಂ. ನನಗೆ 2 ಶ್ಲೋಕ ಬರುತ್ತೆ, ನಾನಿವಾಗ ಭಕ್ತಿಶಾಸ್ತ್ರಿ ಆಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟೆ, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾನೀಗ ವೈಷ್ಣವ. ನೋ. ಈ ಭಕ್ತಿಶಾಸ್ತ್ರಿ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ನಮ್ಮ ರಾಧಾನಾಥ ಸ್ವಾಮಿ ಮಹಾರಾಜನ ಒಂದ್ಸಲ ಕರೆದಿದ್ವಿ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್ ಕೊಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಮುಂಚೆ, ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಟೈಮ್. ಅವ್ರು ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು, 2 ಶ್ಲೋಕ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು, ನೀವು ಭಕ್ತಿಶಾಸ್ತ್ರಿ ಸರ್ಟಿಫಿಕೇಟ್ ಸಿಗುತ್ತಲ್ಲ, ಅದರ ಮೇಲೆ ಈ 2 ಶ್ಲೋಕನ ಇದೇನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, ಲ್ಯಾಮಿನೇಷನ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಅದ್ರ ಮೇಲೆ ಹಾಕಿದ್ರು ಅಂತ. ವಿಚ್ ಇಸ್ ಸ್ಪೋಕನ್ ಬೈ ಬಲರಾಮ್ಜಿ ಟು ರೋಮಹರ್ಷನ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಭಾಗವತಂ 10th canto 78th chapter. Romaharshana is sitting on the Vyasasan and speaking to exalted brahmanas, exalted sages, scholars. And when Balramji comes, he doesn't get up. Everyone gets up and worships. Actually, ನೀವು ವ್ಯಾಸಾಸನ್ ಕೂತಿದ್ರೆ ಪ್ರೈಮ್ ಮಿನಿಸ್ಟರ್ ಕೂಡ ಬಂದ್ರೆ ನೀವು ಹೇಳೋದು ಬೇಕಿಲ್ಲ, ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ದಿಸ್ ಪೊಸಿಷನ್ ಇಸ್ ವೆರಿ ಹೆವಿ. ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ವ್ಯಾಸಾಸನ್. ಬಟ್ ಇಫ್ ಯುವರ್ ಓನ್ ಗುರು ಕಮ್ಸ್, at least you should acknowledge and bow down. What to speak of Balaramji, the original Adi Guru coming? ಹೇಳೋದಿಲ್ಲ, ಕೈ ಮುಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ, ಏನಿಲ್ಲ, not even bowing down. Then Balaramji says, ಋಷೇರ್ ಭಗವತೋ ಭೂತ್ವಾ ಶಿಷ್ಯ ಅಧೀತ್ಯ ಬಹೂನಿ ಚ ಸೇತಿಹಾಸ ಪುರಾಣಾನಿ ಧರ್ಮಶಾಸ್ತ್ರಾಣಿ ಸರ್ವಶ. First, in the first verse, he speaks about the qualities of Romaharshan. ಋಷೇರ್ ಭಗವತೋ ಭೂತ್ವಾ ಶಿಷ್ಯ, ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟ್ಲಿ ಪರ್ಸನಲ್ ಡಿಸೈಪಲ್ ಆಫ್ ವ್ಯಾಸದೇವ್, ಭಗವಾನ್ ವ್ಯಾಸದೇವ್. ವ್ಯಾಸಾಯ ವಿಷ್ಣು ರೂಪಾಯ ವ್ಯಾಸ ರೂಪಾಯ ವಿಷ್ಣವೇ, ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟ್ಲಿ ಲಾರ್ಡ್ಸ್ ಡಿಸೈಪಲ್. ಅಧೀತ್ಯ ಬಹುನಿ ಚ, ಭಕ್ತಿಶಾಸ್ತ್ರಿ, ಭಕ್ತಿ ವೈಭವ್, ಭಕ್ತಿ ವೇದಾಂತ, ಭಕ್ತಿ ಸಾರ್ವಭೌಮ ಎಲ್ಲ ಆಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದೆ. ಭಕ್ತಿ ಸೇತಿಹಾಸ ಪುರಾಣಾನಿ ಧರ್ಮಶಾಸ್ತ್ರಾಣಿ. ಬಟ್ ಇನ್ ದ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ವರ್ಸ್ he says, ಅದಾಂತಸ್ಯ, your senses are not under control. ಅವಿನೀತಸ್ಯ, you have no humility. ವೃಥಾ ಪಂಡಿತ ಮಾನೇನ, ಓ ದೊಡ್ಡ ಪಂಡಿತ್ ತಿಳ್ಕೊಳ್ತೀಯ ನಿನ್ನ. ನ ಗುಣಾಯ ಭವಂತಿ ಸ್ಮ, ನಿನ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವುದು ಸದ್ಗುಣ ಇಲ್ಲ ಈಗ. ಅಂಡ್ ದೇರ್ ಫೋರ್ ಯುವರ್ ಟಾಕಿಂಗ್ ಈಸ್ ನಟಸ್ಯ ಇವ. ಒಳ್ಳೆ ಡ್ರಾಮಾನಲ್ಲಿ ಡೈಲಾಗ್ ಹೇಳ್ದಂಗೆ ಹೇಳ್ತೀಯ ಅಷ್ಟೇ, ಅದು ಏನ್ ರಿಯಲೈಸೇಷನ್ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಸಾಕ್ಷಾತ್ಕಾರ ಇಲ್ಲ ನಿನಗೆ. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ವೈಷ್ಣವ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಗುಣದಿಂದ ತುಂಬಿರುವ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿ. ಅಂಡ್ ದೇರ್ ಫೋರ್ ಎ ವೈಷ್ಣವ ಈಸ್ ಹೈಯರ್ ದೆನ್ ಎ ಬ್ರಾಹ್ಮಣ. ಹಾಗೆ ತಿಳ್ಕೊಂಡು ನಾನು ಐ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಎ ಹೇಲ್ ಅರೌಂಡ್ ಎ ಹೆಡ್, ದಟ್ ಇಟ್ ಸೆಲ್ಫ್ ಇಸ್ ಎ ಫಾಲ್ ಡೌನ್. ದೆನ್ ಯು ಆರ್ ನಾಟ್ ಎ ಬ್ರಾಹ್ಮಣ. A Vaishnava never considers himself. He considers himself the most fallen. Haridas Thakur, even though he was the greatest of all Vaishnavas, he considers himself so fallen that he would respect everyone else. But Advaitacharya knew who he is. Therefore, he called him for Shraddha even though others were so-called ritualistic Brahmanas were against. So, a Vaishnava by position is higher than a Brahmana. Is naturally a Brahmana, but he never considers himself a Brahmana. He considers himself lower than a worm in the stool, as Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami says. And therefore, he is worshipable by everyone, including the Brahmanas. Because he doesn't flaunt himself as an advanced person. He always sees, Brihad Bhagavatam ನೋಡಿ ನೀವು. Brihad Bhagavatamದಲ್ಲಿ everyone is speaking about his own faults. The more mercy a person has received, the more he is seeing his own faults and glories of others. But if it is reverse in our case, we see faults of others, but we never see in ourselves. So, I hope I answered your question. Yes, Prabhuji.
This you are talking about the community. Now, what happens in our own house? We are not able to do this. How we can contribute to this community?
घर की मुर्गी दाल बराबर महाराज. ನಾನು ಮನೆಗೆ ಹೋದರೆ ಕೂತ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಒಬ್ಬ ಪ್ರವಚನ ಕೊಡ್ತೀಯ ನೋಡಿ ಗೊತ್ತಿದ್ದೀನಿ. So I don't preach to my family members. So yeah, sometimes familiarity is there, and sometimes kind of that may be there, but it's not a question of being successful in one place, being not successful in another place. It's about a kind of disposition that we have to have. I say three things: the clarity of the head, the conviction of the heart, and the courage to take action. Triple C formula. For I continue to do, irrespective of clarity of the head, and which means where to be a preacher or share and teacher, where to be simply listening, where to do simply listening. You know. So it's interesting. Even Prabhupada's own family members, except Vrindavan Chandra and two others, may not have been kind of appreciative. Because we can't say that it's a very transcendental level. But the fact is, Advaitacharya. Can you imagine? 3 of his sons became Achyutananda and others, amazing devotees. And 3, Chaitanya Charitamrita says, 3 became Asar. So that means if you disconnect from the branch, it's only a question of time when everything dries up. So we should pray one thing, irrespective of our surroundings. We should pray that we are full number one. We pray to Prabhupada, we pray to Krishna, and we also should pray that let us not develop familiarity with devotees. That's why etiquette is so important. Etiquette, whether you like it or not, but we follow the etiquettes. It's inside out and outside in. Suppose I don't have humility, but keep bowing down. When the body bows down, hopefully the mind will bow down someday. And internally develop the understanding, who am I? 1/10,000, the tip of the hair. So automatically you bow down. So inside out through knowledge, and outside in through etiquettes. We continue to do what is right, what is wrong, maturely, and we don't worry so much about who accepts, who doesn't. But we are convinced that, therefore, Swanushthitasya dharmasya samsiddhir haritosha. I should pray to Krishna will it be pleasing to Guru and Krishna and pleasing to the Vaishnavas? And we just continue to do what we are doing. And pray that we also become a good example. It's interesting. Yadyad acharati, not yadyad vadati. Right? Yadyad acharati sreshta. Our every action, word, and thought is actually powerfully preaching. I don't know whether I answered your question. I shared whatever came to my mind.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Yeah. ಎಲ್ಲಿಂದನೋ ಆಕಾಶವಾಣಿ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದೆ.
Yeah, Prabhu.
Oh.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. So you mentioned emotional deposits. What are some examples of emotional deposits? Like in.
Well, I allowed you to raise your hand, and in spite of Brahmacharya said, "Hey, I have deposited something." So every time I make a person feel good, I have a prasad, so I keep something for you, and I say, "Hey, I was thinking of you. This is prasad for you." Or every time we meet, we appreciate each other like that. Every time we do something positive towards that person, we are doing a deposit. And every time we hurt somebody, we are withdrawing. So it happens in many ways, so somebody remembers their birthday and sends one, nice message or gives some gifts or does whatever, So these are some positive. Somebody remembered you, somebody shared their, heart with you, something positive. That's deposit. So that even if, just like our parents, even if they scold us, we don't take it so seriously. I mean, we should take seriously, but we don't, our relationships won't become strained because we know we are so grateful for what they have all done for us. So naturally, even if they withdraw a big amount, deposit is so much, the relationship don't get strained. Yeah.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Guruji, for your wonderful talk and sharing your experiences on social regulatory principles. So regarding this point of communication, Guruji, which you are telling, that actually nowadays people expect very quick communications, and that's how the world is. A lot of quick communications, quick decisions, and but sometimes in making things quick, what happens is we don't think deep, and then we make some wrong decisions. So how is it that we can slow down as a community as a whole, and then think and act rather than going into snap decisions and then creating more relationship problems and inconveniences?
The problem is when you don't communicate and you are thinking, हमको क्या मालूम तो सोच रहा तूने response ही नहीं किया. The best is to say, okay, Prabhu, I got it. I'll come back to you. At least you say that. Say, okay, I heard you. I hope I understood you. I mean, you mean this, this, this. So he feels understood. Okay. Then I'll think about it and come back to you. So communicate that you have understood or you have heard and you have registered it, and say that because it is such a decision, it requires a little bit thinking, but it's not that thinking and after 2 years you respond. As per the depending on the task, some decision has to be given, so immediately it has to be given. You can postpone it if the event is tomorrow. First of all, it should be planned such a way that you get a time for that. Like that.
Prabhuji, one question here. How to appreciate a devotee who had hurt us in past and relationship has become distance, but still we want to again develop relationship with that devotee?
Yeah. Very difficult and a very amazing question. Very wonderful question. I have quite a few devotees in that list. So every morning before I begin chanting, I pray to Krishna, please Krishna. I don't know, our makeup is such that somehow, It's like positive and negative of not even two positives. They repel. I'm not able to see, but this person is very great, and I pray for his well-being. I pray for whatever. So first, in the mind, start, or you may not see any good quality in that person because somehow you're made in such a way that it doesn't. The only worst part comes out in front of you. But there may be others who appreciate that person. So hear from them about उसमें क्या अच्छा दिखता है यार तेरे को. Keep hearing from them who love them and who are appreciative of them. Hear them and try to see from that. They borrow their specs and see. Oh, अच्छा ऐसा भी है. That's first thing. So that some mentally you become positive. Then hopefully one day you will speak. Someday you will actually physically do something good. So that person. You should begin internally, manasa, then vacha, then karmana. This is how I try to do it. And avoid those kind of topics or something, issues, that there is a strong difference of opinion in both of us. That I don't raise during that conversation. Oh, sure. Yeah, I'm okay. ಮಾತಾಜಿ ಕಡೆಯಿಂದ ಯಾವುದು ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಆಮೇಲೆ ಬೈತಾರಪ್ಪ. ಇಲ್ಲದೆ ಇದ್ರು ಒಂದು ಕೇಳ್ಬಿಡಿ. ಮೈಕ್ ಕೇಳಿಸ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ ಎಲ್ರಿಗೂ. Oh, one of the very, coming from straight from the heart. Okay, it came like this. Okay, I didn't know.
Hare Krishna. No, there is no question. Thank you very much. Lot of questions are answered in the presentation. Thank you very much, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you so much. I don't have a question, but this is just a response I'm giving from my father. He's 90-year-old, and he's been listening to your lectures for a very long time, especially your Purushottam Padashraya. It's really helping us. And my father, he's in a state where he cannot move much, but he listens and he appreciates. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I gave that Purushottam Padashraya last Adhik Mas.
Yeah.
It was COVID and I was in GV, and I couldn't connect with devotees in Kolhapur where I go and preach. So they said, "Kuch to karo Prabhuji." And at that time in GV, this program was going on every day, one chapter of Bhagavatam. I said, "Wow, this is good." So we had exactly 30 days, and 19 plus 11 is exactly 30. No, 19 plus 10. First canto has 19 chapters. Second canto has 9 chapters. There are 10 chapters. 29. One day introduction. So I decided to do first 2 cantos, and I said these are the lotus feet. That's how I said Purushottam Mas and Purushottam Padashray. That's how I started this. And a lot of devotees have expressed. It's all Prabhupada's mercy, and I was also inspired. Actually, others benefit or not, I benefited a lot.
We listen to them repeatedly, Prabhuji. They're very...
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
By the way, tomorrow is my mother's 99th birthday. And that's why I have come. So all the Vaishnavas here, I pray that, I request that you can pray. She's an amazing lady, and 49% of what I am, I give credit to my parents, especially my mother, and 51% to my guru, because the first parents, they gave me the patra, and that was filled by Guru Maharaj. So therefore, and he told me actually, when I joined the ashram, he said, "Hey, you should at least write a postcard At that time, no mobile and all that. So he said, write a postcard once in a way. And then I started visiting her house, my house. And so now, somehow Krishna, it's the old model, na? These people have, it's like ambassador car. And our model is like Tata Sumo, Tata Nano. मारा तो इधर से कल पुर्जा निकल जाता. So I don't know, we all will survive till 70, 80 or not. So yeah, please convey my heartfelt, prayers and blessings of Radha Vinod to him. Ooh, we have much in common.
Hare Krishna. So why don't we all chant once Hare Krishna mantra for Prabhu's mother? Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. We also express our heartfelt gratitude for Prabhuji so that, and such loud that when Prabhu visits quite often, and also to Prasanatma Balan Prabhu who did the Kannada translation today. But loudly chanting once Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. For today's sponsorship, we have, do we have Giri Varsana Mataji here? Giri Varsana Mataji has sponsored a roti making machine to the temple. And so that Mataji wanted that machine to be utilized for devotees in Vaishnava Seva. So she has donated almost 3 lakh rupees for this machine that will be used. 3,25,000, Prabhuji corrected me. So let us all chant once Hare Krishna Mahamantra and express our gratitude to Mataji. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. We also have Krishna's kingdoms, the culmination of all the year, the full year. Will be celebrated today in the evening in the form of Balotsav. So those who all are available, please kindly attend this session and encourage the children also and the parents as well. And we'll have today Sachi Sutta Ashtaka by Mandakini Mataji. So let all assemble downstairs.